Are you tired of hitting a mediocre serve that just gets wailed back by your opponents and you have a difficult third shot? Well, we're going to talk about two advanced serves. They're going to help you cause your opponent to either make mistakes off the return or hit bad returns so you can have an easy third ball. Let's jump right into it. Welcome to Pickleball Journey, where we give you weekly tips to help you on your pickleball journey. Now, I know I mentioned these are advanced serves, but if you're a little bit of a beginner, stick around because the serve is something that you can improve very fast, and people have no excuse not to improve it because it's the only thing that you can get out and practice on your own. So we're going to give you essential tips to be able to advance that serve from wherever you're at. So stick around no matter what level you're at. Before we start on the first advanced serve, I want to get something cleared up. In my opinion, the serve is an opportunity to either win an easy point or to create a bad return off the opponent. So I want to be as aggressive as I can off my serve because I can control everything and still be consistent at the same time. However, when you're trying to improve your serve, you're gonna have a little bit of inconsistency as you improve it to be very consistent at 100%. So if you're trying to improve your serve, don't expect yourself to get it right off the bat, but practice it so we can improve the aggressiveness of our serve. There's misconceptions going around, and even others' opinions, that a serve is just to get the ball in. Well, while that's true, if we just get the ball in and it's not a very aggressive serve, you're missing out on an opportunity to be able to take control of the point right off the bat because you have control of that first shot. All right, let's get into that first advanced serve. Before we do, I'm gonna show you how you do it. All right, so that one is my hard, deep serve. So hard, when I say hard, I mean fast. So I hit that 50 to 55 miles an hour, give or take. And what I do is a three-step process. So I keep my feet together, and then I'll step with my dominant foot, non-dominant foot, hit the ball, then step with my dominant foot again. So I hit the ball after two steps, and then my weight transfer to step for the third. In the same way as a right-hander, it's the same thing. Your dominant foot, your non-dominant foot, you hit the ball, and then you step through with your dominant foot again. So that's the footwork. Now let's get to the swing itself. The swing, I keep my paddle nice and high, okay? The reason I do this is because if you have a shorter range of motion, you can still get some power, but you're not gonna get that momentum through the ball to be able to generate as much power. So I like to get it up nice and high. And what I'll do is when I make that three-step process, I'll bring it down and through with a big fall through. This enables me to get a big swing through the ball, as well as activating my wrist to be able to generate a lot of power. All right, let's talk about the next advanced serve. This one's gonna be a spin serve, so I'm gonna teach you how to hit it to the left, curving to the left, curving to the right, so that you're able to cause some mischief on the other side, get some errors, get a bad return, so we can have a more easy third ball. Now, we're gonna talk about the spin serve in a right-handed perspective. Now, this baseline is gonna be really important because it's gonna be my focal point for talking in the two ranges of motion that we're gonna be talking about. Now, the first range of motion is I need to make sure that my paddle is moving through the ball. So I'm gonna talk about this in a vertical sense. So from the net to the fence back here. So we're moving this way, that's vertical. My paddle needs to move that direction in order to get distance and power through the ball. However, we're gonna make sure that we're not moving too much through it because we're also, most of our motion is going to be in the second range, which is going to be moving to the camera from you all the way down this baseline to the fence that direction. So we got kind of like our x-axis and our y-axis. So we need to make sure it's moving in those both range of motions. So how we're gonna set the paddle is making sure the paddle is behind my body. Then when I move to contact on the baseline, boom, I'm gonna finish through in front of the baseline, making sure I have that vertical motion, okay? Now, I'm also gonna make sure that my paddle is moving in a right to left motion. So it's gonna start on the right side of my body, and when I contact the ball, it's gonna be about the center of my body, and then I'm gonna finish on the left side of my body. So I wanna make sure that my contact as well is not, if I was hitting the serve to you, is not gonna be on the right side of my body so that I snap down through the ball. It's going to be when my paddle is at its lowest point, That's where my contact is going to be. And then I'm gonna finish through on the left side of my body. So I'm gonna show you an example of what I'm talking about. So I have the paddle behind me. I have on the right side of my body, my contact, and then I finish on the left side of my body, in front of my body. Before we move on to the next advanced serve, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the next videos. Now for the other spin serve, instead of moving the ball to the right, I'm gonna try to move the ball to the left. So how am I gonna do that? Well, I'm gonna do the opposite of this motion, which would be a left to right motion. So how I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna keep my paddle again behind me, and then I'm gonna finish in front of contact, so I have a vertical motion as well as a horizontal motion, but moving towards the camera instead of away from the camera. So I'm gonna start with the paddle behind me to the left of my body. I'm gonna move forward to contact at the baseline. Then I'm gonna finish through on the right side of the ball, but in front of the baseline, and then finish over my shoulder. So this is what it's gonna look like. Okay, and it's almost kind of like a bowling motion when you look at it to create that spin that's moving to the left. Now to conclude this video, make sure that you get out and you actually practice the serve. We want to be hitting the serve 95 to 100%, just like you would push in your basic serve. Now you don't really have an excuse because you don't need anyone else to practice with. You can grab a small bag of balls and practice really hard to be able to get these serves consistent, all right? So as Justin would say, practice with passion and perfect your serve with persistence.
Hey, real quick before you go, we recently launched a newsletter where we've got weekly tips, discounts, sometimes giveaways, and more. Be sure to subscribe. We've got the link in the description below.